Hey guys, welcome and or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and things are going to be, I guess, a little bit different, but that's okay. I'm actually outside on my front porch, and that's because a lot of my mental health journey recently has really been recognizing the need for me to be outside a lot more often. And so yeah, I'm outside on my front porch with some of my seedlings, and my kids are inside. They're having a little break. And that's fine, and then hopefully we'll get them outside, and I've got a lot to do today. I actually just filmed another video for what will potentially be another channel. I don't know, we'll just have to see about that one, but it's fun. I like to share what I've been doing and what I've been up to. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go check that out. I think it might be fun for some of you to see like what I do here when I'm not reading or filming about reading, because I generally am actually quite a busy person, especially the more my mental health has really just been doing a lot better. So yeah, we're busy over here. But if you guys are interested in that, interested in the gardening and the livestock and the apothecary stuff, just basically all of the stuff, the food preservation, all the stuff that I do on a daily basis, then you can check out that channel. I guess I'll put the name down right here because I don't even know what the name is yet, but you can check that out. Sorry for the lighting. Like I said, I mean, the sun is coming up, but I think that there might be, I think you might see the camera shadow. That's fine because this is just what's making me happy. So let's talk about my recent reads. I did a poll. That's what you guys want to hear. Well, actually, you want to hear all of my options. So my recent reads, my spring recommendations, and my spring CPR. So I'm going to do all of those because that's what the majority said, but I think the one that got the second most was recent reads. So I'm going to start with that one. So let's go to my Goodreads and see if I can get you guys maybe a little less. You guys enjoy seeing my like front door. It's cute, right? Yeah, super cute. We're fine. Okay, so let's talk about some of the books that I have been reading. So I guess I'm going to talk about February and March, because in February and March I've read 5 books, and I'm almost done with a 6th book, and then I've just started a 7th book. So I think that's a good amount to talk about. So the first book I started out February with was probably the first book a lot of people started out February with, and that was House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, the 3rd book in the Crescent City series. Yeah, I actually gave this book the best rating I've given any book in the series, and that was like just above a 4-star. So I've given every book in the series a 4-star. This was also 4 stars, but I specifically put on there on my Goodreads rating 4.25, and that is because the first 300 pages of that book were phenomenal. Just the best piece probably of writing she's done in the whole series, and the most fun to read. I just really enjoyed that, and for you guys who have read it, you guys who know maybe where the series is going and everything like that might understand why I enjoyed that the most. And I thought that was just done really well. I think the pacing kind of went down a little bit from there, but in general I think this was the best paced of the 3 books. I can't really say too much more because it's just, talking about this book is so spoilery. I just don't want to risk any of that. But 4.25, really enjoyed it. It got me back into the fantasy romance mood, because I actually had been in a fantasy romance slump for about 2 months before that, or maybe like 6 weeks, I don't know. So it actually got me back into the fantasy romance mood. So let me talk about a fantasy romance book that I can actually talk about. And that is going to be, what was the next book? Hold on one second, let me look at my Goodreads. Okay, What Lies Beyond the Veil. Now this was going to be the Patreon buddy read series for my Patreon, and I was really excited about that, but I've actually since closed my Patreon. And listen, I like sharing social media for fun. The amount that I got for it, yes, it was helping with some of the costs of doing the YouTube, but instead I've actually decided to cut those costs. They're extras that I don't need, and therefore I don't really need to do the Patreon. It was a fun way to have extra interaction with people, but at the same time, I just don't like letting people down, and when things come up with my life and I can't produce the content for that I want to, it makes me feel really bad. So even if you guys are really understanding about it, I don't like that. So it's just an extra stressor I don't necessarily need, because I can't really guarantee content on a specific schedule like that, and that's okay. Maybe Patreon will be for me later on down the road, but this is definitely just not the year for it. So I went ahead and closed that down, but this was going to be the buddy read, and we did read it, the first book, and I loved this book. I give it 5 stars. So this is the first book in a fantasy romance series. I gave it 5 stars, and this is about this world where there is a veil, and the veil separates the fae from regular people. And one day the veil drops, and basically if you are fae marked, you are the mate of a fae. And so when the veil drops, the fae start coming for their mates. And that also, like, I think helps with their power possibly too. I'm not sure, but our main character, she's not had the best life, and she's in a precarious situation when the veil drops, and she goes running. She runs into basically like another marked male, and they're kind of like on the run together, and that's what it's about. It's really, 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 really good, and it's really fun. The writing's like not the best, but the plot and the vibes were like peak for me. I just thought it was really good, really fun. I liked it. I understand people that aren't as big of a fan because, like I said, the writing is not like spectacular, but it was what I wanted at the time. And I do think this is one of the better fantasy romance beginnings to a series that I have read. It was just really fast-paced and fun. Okay, the sun is coming up a bit more now over the trees, and I need to figure out a different situation. Okay, so I'm glowing a bit here, but that's okay. The sun was coming up, and it was like starting to actually really like get into my eyes. So 5 stars for What Lies Beyond the Veil. That was by Harper L. Woods. That's actually a pen name for Adelaide Forrest. I've not read her other books under her Adelaide Forrest name. I think it's like more on the mafia side of like romance, but continuing on with the fantasy romance, because that is just what I wanted to read at this point. I read To Flame a Wildflower by Sarah A. Parker. This is the 3rd book in the To Bleed a Crystal Bloom series. I loved this one. It did not beat out book 2, but it was close. The beginning, I think, was a little bit slow, but the second half was just amazing. So I give it 5 stars. Not a 6-star read, which, you know, that's fine. I only give out a few of those a year, but it was a wonderful, wonderful book. 5 stars. I love her writing. I'm still confused, but I'm a little bit less confused. I cannot wait for the 4th book. I think there's supposed to be 6 books in that series. So if you haven't heard of this is actually one of my favorite fantasy romance series right now. It's technically like a dark Rapunzel retelling, with really, I would say, really flowery writing. So if you like flowery writing, definitely check it out. If you don't like flowery writing, you probably won't like this. It's also very dark and problematic in terms of the romance, so just know that going in. But it's really good. I love it. I love it. Super flawed characters, and like no one is like good. Everyone's got their major flaws, so I love it. And then, let's see. Next I read The Sword. This was the 2nd prequel novella to the series by J. Bree. It's like her newer fantasy romance series. It's called the Mortal Fates series. I won't be continuing on with this series, unfortunately. And I know a lot of people who really enjoy it, but I'm not one of them. This one was actually starting out pretty good. I ended up wasp. I ended up liking it more than the first one in the beginning, but then, oh my god, where did the wasp go though? I think it went away. Okay. Oof. Okay. Yeah, I was liking the beginning of this a lot better than the first one, but then things went downhill, and I don't know. It's mostly writing style that is the issue with Jaybree for me, I think. It became obvious that it was all telling, not showing, especially when it came to like our hero and her trying to build his character. It was all telling, not showing. It's like, oh, so-and-so, you're so strong but sweet. Like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, it was just, I found the writing to be fairly subpar. I wasn't a fan. So that's really all I have to say. I don't want to like sit here bashing it because I do have a lot of friends that like it, but the writing for me, I feel like was very lazy and not good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that's okay. I like other books where the writing's not necessarily great either. So like, I get it. The writing's not necessarily make or break, but in this case, the writing was just, I don't know what it was, but I just didn't like it. Okay, so next I read Kristin Hannah, Four Winds. This is really weird for me. I don't read historical fiction. I don't like historical fiction. I don't know. There's a YouTuber that I watch, not in BookTube, but I watch her for her homesteading content, Jess from Roost and Refuge, and she was recommending some books the other day, and she was talking specifically about Kristin Hannah, and I've seen her books all around, especially at Second and Charles when I go shopping at the secondhand bookstore. I see them all the time. And I know she's a very, very, very popular historical fiction writer. But it just never seemed like my vibe. But I picked this one up. This is about the Dust Bowl during the Great Depression, but it's set in the Dust Bowl area. So I think the main characters, it's set in like northern Texas, like in the Panhandle region of northern Texas. And it's pretty hard to read. It's about this woman and her family, and so many things happen to her that are so hard to read. It's so sad, but then a lot of really sweet things and found family, and these relationship about like mothers and daughters, and I guess it's really hard to describe a Kristin Hannah book without, or is it Kristin? Yeah, a Kristin Hannah book without like, I guess, I don't know, it's hard for me to describe. I don't really know how to discuss historical fiction, you know, because I don't usually discuss it because I don't usually read it, but I really liked this. I was going through a period where I was really interested in learning a little bit more about the Great Depression, and it was really interesting. It was also really sad, and it's also sad to see like how much we haven't learned, because the soil erosion issue in that region is actually worse than it was then. And now we're experiencing a giant drought in the area, and it's so crazy to see how much we just have blatantly chosen not to learn from our past. But you know, I digress. It was really, really powerful. I gave it 6 stars. It's probably my favorite book I've read this year. It was incredibly powerful. If you don't want to cry repeatedly and constantly, don't pick it up, because you will cry. I cried. Sorry, there's like a wasp surrounding me. It's only interested in the camellias, so I'm sure it's fine, but it's just all over the camellias. And that's fine. Like, they are wonderful pollinators. Anyway, lovely, lovely, lovely writing. Impactful, powerful, moving. Highly recommend if you do already like historical fiction, and actually highly recommend if you've never read a historical fiction but are considering getting into it, especially if you are interested in the Great Depression era, or you're interested in farming or homesteading or gardening. It might also interest you, so I definitely recommend. 6 stars, best book of the year so far. Now let's get into the books that I'm reading currently. Okay, so I am currently reading and almost done with Mafia Virgin by Mila Finelli. That is actually a pen name for Joanna Shupe, who is a historical romance author. But I've actually enjoyed this whole series a lot. I'm liking this one. I'm almost done with it. It's definitely going to be my least favorite of the series. It's just, I don't think it's as good, and that's fine. But I'm almost done with it, and it's been enjoyable, and it's actually pulled me out of a little bit of a reading slump, so definitely grateful to that. This is just a mafia romance about, it's the same family of women, this family of women who are the daughter of this mob boss in Canada, who is connected to the Italian mafia. And them each basically ending up somehow married to different mob bosses, basically. And so that's what this is about. This is about the last sister that hasn't, I don't even know her name. I'm really bad with names. But it's about the last sister who we haven't had her story yet. And this one has some tropes that I usually like. Like, I mean, it's got a forced marriage trope. It's also got, like, if you're like into like breeding kink and that kind of thing. So forced marriage, breeding kink, and age gap. So I liked it. I'm liking it. Sorry, I'm over here like a freaking, can't figure out this lighting because the sun is rising and it's changing every like 5 minutes. So bear with me here. So I liked it. I'm liking it. I have like 60 pages left or something like that. And then I've just started the second book in the What Lies Beyond the Veil series. Okay, you guys are balanced really precariously, and I know this is like so totally not my usual style. So yeah, I'm reading What Hunts Inside the Shadows. That's the second book in the What Lies Beyond the Veil series. What's the series called? What is this series called? Of Flesh and Bone. So I have just started this. I'm only 40 pages in, but I'm listening to the audiobook. I actually got it from my library, though I think I actually have it on Audible already. Okay, the lighting in here is a bit off too. It's just not a great filming time of day, but it was like, I've got the energy for this kind of time of day, apparently. I don't know why why does my camera think it, like, this is what the light, like, this is what needs to happen with the lighting for some reason. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Anyway, I'm reading What Hunts Inside the Shadows. What Hunts Beneath the Shadow? Yeah, Inside the Shadow. It's, I don't know. The names for this series are really weird. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm 40 pages in. I'm interested in seeing what happens next. Because I did like the first book in the series so freaking much. I'm interested in seeing what happens. My kids want snacks. I should have probably just gotten my tripod out because this is just not, yeah. Okay. My kids want snacks. I'm excited to have been able to film a video, even though if like I had to change positions like a million times, that is okay. This is life right now. That's fine. Okay. So it's the kids' snack time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be coming at you soon again, either with my spring book recommendations or my spring TBR. I'm not sure which, but check out that. Keep a lookout for that. Make sure you click the notification bell, especially with my upload schedule being kind of like weird right now. The notification bell might be helpful for you just so you can know when I'm posting new videos. So also, if you're interested in the other stuff, the homesteading stuff, the apothecary stuff, the gardening stuff, all of that, don't forget that you can also check out my other channel. So until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade